Welcome everybody. I'm excited to show you today how to quilt the Kaleidoscope quilt. I know you're all busy and I appreciate you joining me, and I'm very excited to show you how to quilt this. So thank you for your time. Okay, so let's jump in. I've already opened up my automation and I've purchased some designs. I found them on the website that I thought would look really good, and I decided what color I wanted to quilt at least my border in. So I'm going to quilt my border with this dark blue because I don't want to detract from the look and the illusion of the Kaleidoscope quilt. Now, on the gray one over here, it's fine to add a little color and a little pop because it's very colorful. But this one here, I liked that the dark blue kind of blended in and it made the pinwheel design really pop and stand out. So I decided not to quilt green around the border to detract from that. Now, I'm going to use the green on the blocks because I think because of the green center. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be changing threads. So anyway, let's just jump in and we're going to go to the gold features. And inside the gold features, there's a feature called borders and corners, and that's what I'm going to be using today to quilt the border. I'm going to set my safe area. I'm just going to move up to the left top of the quilt, and then I'm going to move it down to the bottom right. And this will allow me to set my safe area. Now my blocks are about 15 inches, so I really want to make sure that my safe area, it's almost 16 inches. So I may not be able to quilt all 3 blocks. I may have to turn my quilt and quilt the blocks to be the full size. We'll just have to see on that. As I'm rolling, you lose quilting area or your throat space, so you need to pick designs that you can adjust as you're quilting to fit within the area and adjust to the size of the throat of the machine, because the throat of the machine determines the size that you can quilt. So if you're starting out with like a large quilt and you have a smaller throat machine, you need to adjust the size of your design to work so it'll work from top to bottom. See, on the top portion, you can start out with a larger design, but as you roll, you lose that quilting area. And so, so the design will have to be smaller and smaller and smaller. So if you know that ahead of time, you can just adjust your design to be the specific size so it looks nice and uniform and even. Okay, so let's jump in, and this is your borders and corners screen. Across the top, you have some tools. You have your redo and undo. You have your zoom in and zoom out, and your select border and a toolbox. And inside the toolbox, you see some nice tools. Right over here, I showed you the marking tool. Well, you have the marking tool right here. So I could mark all the way around and make sure that my border was within the area. So let's go ahead and show you how the marking tool works with borders and corners. And fabric comp, because I'm going to show you fabric comp. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over here to my left side, and I'm going to pull my machine all the way down. Even though I'm just quilting a corner that's going to come down so far, I just want to pull it all the way down. Okay, and so I want to move it to the edge, so that my needle is on the edge of my fabric, and I'm going to do my add. And you see that dot right down there? Now, don't worry, I haven't placed my border yet so it doesn't know the location. I'm just making an outline of my border so that I can make sure that I'm staying within the lines. Now, if you have a quilt that's a little wonky, see, I can tell this one's a little uneven. See? There we go. And that's why I'm doing a couple extra spots. I'm going to go to the corner here. It kind of comes down on each corner. It's up a little higher in the middle. And that's what's nice about fabric comp, because it's going to help us fix that. And that is just kind of the outside. Now I'm going to move to the inside and make my line across, and then I'm going to go up to the inner corner to add, And I'm going to just move across here. And I choose little sections to put a little mark. Like where it meets up at a point. And I'm just going to move to this inner left and then move down. So there's the outline of my border. I'm going to go back and I'm going to say okay down here at the bottom, and it's going to take me back to my borders and corner placement screen. So right here it says border style and placement. So I'm going to come over here and decide what border style I want to use, and we've got miter, corner, block, and none. Well, I'm going to use corner because I'm going to have a corner design that I want sewn along with my border. So that's the one I'm choosing, and you can see it changed the style. So now let's go and make our placement of our border. So what I'm going to do is move right here to this outside corner again, and I'm going to tap on this little dot right here, this section. You can see it's blocked off into sections, and this little pink upper left is that left, and see how it moves down? And now I'm going to come forward just a little bit and do the one right underneath it. And you can see when I tap on that section, it kind of highlights it. Now I'm going to do the inner portion of the border, and I'm going to go to the inner left corner and tap on that section, see how it highlights? And then I'm just going to move straight down and tap on the bottom one. So you see now my pink is aligned with my marking tool mark. So it's going pretty good. Now we're going to move to the left side and do the same thing. So we're going to start with the outer corner first. And I'm going to just tap on the upper one. Now I'm just going to pull it down a little bit to align the bottom. And then I'm going to tap on the bottom. And then I'm just going to move it in to the inner corner. See how it's moving? Okay, so there's my border. So now we've aligned it. Okay, and now we've made our placement of our border. My border will now sew within the area. That's why the marking tool is so nice, because you can actually see how your design is really going to sew onto your quilt. So now we can set our margins, and that's number 2. Over here under border style and placement, and we're going to set our margins. So with borders and corners, when you're quilting the outside border, you want to have a little bit more of a margin to allow for your binding. So you want to come in a little further. So you want to unlock your lock so that you can set the outer different from the inner. And if you're not quite sure, you have your quilt on straight and you want to do an outer and an inner margin, that just means that the design will sew within those parameters just a little smaller. So I'm just going to do an outer, and I'm going to make it, and you can see it coming in. So that's 1/4 of an inch. I just want it just a little bit more to allow for, the unevenness at the top. And I don't really like to use the margin on the inner section because I like it to come all the way to the edge. And so I'm not going to set an inner margin, but, if you feel like you want to and you need to, sometimes it's kind of nice to see those designs sew within the border. It gives it a little bit different look. All right, so now that I've set my margin, I'm just going to go and get my patterns. I'm going to select my corner. I'm choosing Say Cheese, and I want to choose the corner first. So I'm going to open that up, and now I'm going to go and click on the border, and it's clear down my S's. And I'm just going to do my center. And see, it's kind of a fun, simple little border. Kind of looks a little kaleidoscope-y. But you can see as I've placed it, it's going to go outside my quilting area just a little bit right here in the center. And so I'm going to fix that with fabric comp. So what I'm going to do is that now I'm ready to tap on Sew All, and we're going to connect to automation. And so now I can go over here and sew, but I don't want to because I want to come up here to my plugins and I want to come over here to fabric comp. Okay, so fabric comp is going to help make this so that this section right here, it's going to keep it within the parameters that I'm going to go and mark. It takes a little extra time, but it's worth it to have your design on your block sew correctly and stay within the border. Do you see the dark green going across? That's the first area that we're going to mark. And remember, I've already allowed for a margin, so I don't want to move my foot down in and make it more of a margin. I just want to go along the top edge, okay? So I'm just going to start tapping my little plus, and I'm just going to go along my top edge. And do it in increments because your quilt, see how mine came up? Well, mine's come up. And now it's going to kind of dip down just a little bit here in the center section, like that. And now I'm going to move it down just a tad. And see how it kind of aligns that edge with how your quilt is placed on the frame. This really makes a difference. See how it's pulling it up? So I'm just going to move along here, just making my little marks. So it pulls it. And right here, it's going to start dipping down again. Okay, now I'm to the edge. I'm done with that. I want to tap on next. And now I'm going to do this outer right edge. I'm just going to mark along it. And this kind of has a little dip as well. But you can see how it just is aligning with that marking tool. Okay, that's probably about as far as I need to go. And now I can tap on next, do my inner. And I don't need to go too far. And now I can tap next, and now this area right here. All right, I'm done with my fabric comp, and I'm just going to tap on OK. So now you can see my design is adjusted a little bit better. So it's going to sew and stay within my border, and that's exactly what I want it to do. So now I can tap on sew. So it's going to move over here to the left, and this is where it's going to start sewing. And it'll do one single stitch. I'm going to hurry and pull the bottom up and just let it go. And stand back. Don't lean up against your pole. You'll distort the design. So stand back and just let it do its thing. And it's just a simple little design, but you know what? Sometimes the simple designs are the prettiest. I'll show you how I'm going to sew one of the blocks, and then when I join you next, I'll show you the completed quilt with the binding, I promise. Okay, we're almost done with our top border. Okay, now that this top border's done, I have a lot of quilters ask me, well, how do you quilt the sides? What I do is I quilt the top, the center section and then the bottom border. Then I turn the quilt so that I can quilt the sides. So it becomes the top and the bottom. It is easier to turn your quilt rather than quilting one little section at a time all the way down. It will make your design look nice and consistent, and even if you are willing to turn the quilt. But my challenge to you is try it both ways. You know, try, even if you're free motion quilting, try the top border first and then quilt the side borders as you're quilting all the way down, okay? Then try it turning the quilt and see if there's not a difference in how it quilts. I think it quilts a little more consistent, a little evenly, and then you're not having so many start and stops in each section all the way down on the sides. I just like the look of one smooth, fluid, so it doesn't look like your thread broke every 4 or 5 inches. So anyway, that's my challenge to you, is to see what kind of quilting you like. So if you like quilting a section at a time down the edges, be my guest, because I'm all for quilting how you want to quilt. Okay, so now I'm going to take just a minute and change my thread. So it is the bright green thread. Okay, and so I'm still in the automation, but I want to bring my bottom thread up. I can now cut my thread, and I can tap on finished quilting, okay? So now I can get out of borders and corners, and I'm going to roll my quilt just a little bit so I can quilt my block. So I'm going to show you what one block looks like, and then I'm going to, leave you till next time, and then you're going to see my beautiful kaleidoscope quilt when it's all finished. So let me take this off first, and let's roll it. And like you can see on the Q's and Queen, I'm not using the white quilt clips because I have put my batting up over the pole and I needed a little wider quilt clips. It's nice to have a selection of quilt clips. I use the 2-inch quite a bit as well because I love to float my fabric. And I don't like my batting dragging down so I'm stepping on it or others are stepping on it. So if you can, when they go on sale, purchase them. Because purchase the 2-inch if you don't have the 2-inch. If you don't have the 1.5-inch, get those as well so that you have a selection for how you quilt. And now you can see that this is rubbing on the throat on the arm of the machine, so on the bed of the machine. And so I'm going to have to raise it. And I don't want to roll it all the way up because I want to make sure that I can quilt to the corners. And so that gives me enough, and I want to move it across. And I don't know, it's going to be pretty close, so I might want to undo that just a little bit. Just one little ratchet, okay? Yeah, so that gives me enough clearance, and that's what you want. So I'm just going to pull my batting down here and smooth it out, because that's one complete block. And then I'm going to tack down my edges a little bit more on the end here. All right, let's put my quilt clips back on, and then I can tighten it up a little bit. Now, because I'm using the block design, there we go. I'm going to just tighten it up a little bit to give me some tension. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to see how far down I can get it. Oh man, that's so close, but I'm not going to be able to do my full block. Darn it. So I'll have to do 4 sections. That's okay. We can do that. So let me change my thread really quick. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to get out of the borders and corners. And I'm going to come into Select and Sew. And I'm going to get out of these patterns, and I'm going to go back into Patterns and Batch. And this was the one I wanted. Okay, so you can still see I have my marking with my marking tool, and I want to get rid of those. So I'm going to go in over in here. I went into select and sew. I'm going to go into my marking tool, and I'm going to remove all, and that gets rid of it, so you don't have that on the screen. So we're going to do each block section one at a time, because I don't have enough area to quilt the full block size. So I am just going to come over here to my left corner. And I'm still in. I want to go back to my placements, 4 points, and I want to tap on this one right here. I want to go across. Now I'm going to say okay, and I am ready to sew. I'm just going to use a single stitch because I know it's going to start and stop in that corner. So I just want to do a single stitch. All right, so now I'm just going to tap on sew and let it do its thing. I'm not going to lean on it. When it starts doing its tie-offs, you can cut that little piece. All right, we're finished, and so I will continue on and I will quilt the rest of my little squares, but you can see it's looking really cute and really fun. So I'm really pleased with the designs. I'm glad I did the green. And so, yeah, so I will see you in a couple weeks, and I look forward to hearing from you. So please email me if you get a chance, Karla with a K at gracespring.com. If you want this pattern, just email me and I will send you a PDF. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. About yourself.
Oh, she speaks so highly of me. My name is Madison, as she said. I am 19, so I would hope I'm very young.
She's very, very young.
And I love this job. It's the best job I could ever ask for. I also coach basketball, so that's another thing that I love.
Hey, tell them what your favorite pastime is. She has a favorite pastime that she likes to do. You like to play?
I love to golf.
Yes, she loves to golf. So all you golfers out there, when you join your husbands, yeah, ask Madison for her tips.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do, besides now working here with all these amazing people. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and she's working on her first quilt. She started cutting it out and piecing it, and she designed it as well. So she's very good at designing. Great at calligraphy. Also just totally so many amazing things going on with my sweet Madison. So anyway, let me jump in and answer a few of the questions that we had. So Courtney, what were those questions?
What kind of foot was on the
what kind of foot was on the machine? Is it a ruler foot? Honestly, I don't remember. I didn't look at it.
It's just the regular foot.
Okay, it's just the regular hopping foot that comes with the machine. That was the foot that was on it. Did we change the bobbin thread? Yes, I changed the color to be the lime green. So on the back of the quilt, it looks very good, and it has the lime green color. Because I like it when the top and the bobbin thread match, and I don't care if it's a dark color on the back, I like it to pop through and show, because I think the back of the quilt makes a statement as well. And then the next one, what is the largest size quilt clips? Do you want to tell them, Madison? 2 inches.
Okay. See, I'm learning.
Yeah.
2 inches for sure. So
Right.
fun.
Yeah, so those are largest, and they're the hot pink ones. And so, like I said, it's nice to have both sizes because I use them continuously, all the time. Sometimes I will only need the 1.5 inches to hold it nice and secure, but a lot of times I will need that 2 inch. I like a double layer of batting. As you noticed here, we've got something covered up. And what was the last question? So if you have to raise the take-up bar, which is the take-up bar, there's the arm that goes through, the bar that goes through the throat of the sewing machine, do I have to raise the front rail as well? Yes, but maybe not at first. Eventually you will have to, because you don't want this pole to be up here and this pole to be down here. You want a nice even layer. So I will take my arm here, okay, and I just kind of lay it across right here and put it right here. So if it looks like it's laying nice and flat, like this here, then I know I have them even, because you don't want it up with the top portion, you want it to be level with this bottom portion right here. So that's how you will align it. So good questions, thank you. And then I got, yes, she is a quilting baby.
I am. Yeah.
Anyway, we had a beautiful quilt sent in to us, and I just wanted to show it off because she said I could. And Noreen, she did this beautiful quilt, and let's just show it to you. This is her first quilt that she did, and it's just absolutely very clever and just beautiful. And her colors and everything. It's just a lot of fun. You see the horses and the moose, and it's a camping quilt, and I think she did it for her brother or somebody, but she can correct us if I'm wrong, but it's just really fun. So send me pictures of what you're doing so I can highlight them on Tuesdays with Grace. Next, we want to jump in and talk to you about the spring fling coming up, okay? That's next week. It starts on the 31st, is it? I think it's the 31st.
Yes, it starts on the 31st.
So make sure that you're logging in and registering for the spring fling. We've got lots of fabulous classes that you can take to learn about. And then we've got a few sneak peeks, which I have a nice big, large sneak peek right under here. We had to cover it up because we're presenting it in the spring fling, and you will be really excited about this because I didn't necessarily think I would be, but after I started using it, I'm just giving you a little teaser here, okay? After I started using it, I thought, wow, where has this been all my life? It made such a difference. So anyway, make sure you signed up and registered. And then I wanted to jump in and talk to you about another little side project that my brother Jim does. He's the owner of the company, but he likes to create or invent toys. And so I wanted to introduce you to his toys. They've been around for a while. They started out with what we call knuckle struts, but now it is, what do we call it? Connecting. Wait, I know it's on here somewhere. Oh, connectabletoys.com. So I want you to go to the website because it's getting Easter, and these make fabulous little gifts for your kids. And if you really want to help your kids focus on their imagination, we've really lost that with our kids today. They really don't use their imaginations when they're on playing with the video games and stuff. And this really makes them kind of work and put the toys together and create. And just a lot of fun to engage with your kids and your grandkids in a different way. So, yes, and for your husband, Robin. So this is the knuckle struts, and this is Knucklebot here. And I'm going to give it away today. So let's pick out a winner. Okay, so somebody's going to pick me out a winner. Oh, Gary, you get this. So Gary, email me. It's Karla with a K, Karla at graceframe.com, and give me your address, and I'll get this sent out to you. You'll really love Knucklebot. He's a lot of fun. And then we have these Kadoo toys that are really fun. A lot of little pieces. So who's going to be the winner of the Kadoo toys? Oh, Bambi. So Bambi, you are the winner of this. So make sure that you email me, Karla with a K, Karla at graceframe.com. And please check out the website. I know you'll love the toys and what they can bring to your kids and for their imagination and how they can really help. If you have kids with autism, grandkids with autism, they really keep their hands busy and they're a lot of fun. They're working their minds, not only their minds, with their hands. So, and they're creating something new and fabulous, and they'll have a lot of fun doing it. Let's jump in and remind you again to join us. And next week, we're going to start on the spring fling, so we're not going to have a big event for Tuesdays with Grace. I will just remind you to join us the 31st for this beginning of spring fling, and it'll go into the next week. And then in April, we're going to start a lot of fun new little projects. I have a lot of fun things that I want to show you, and they're going to be quick, little, easy projects. A little baby quilt called Little Peeps. Just really simple. We always need a little simple gift, and this one just really, really easy to do. So you can join me that.
If you ever want a sneak peek, go and follow Karla's Instagram. I help her out. I'm a baby quilter, but she is a baby social media person. So,
I am.
Go follow it. It's at Karla with a K, Karla, the number 4 at Grace, or Quilts for Grace.
Yeah, I quilt
Karla,
for Grace. So
Karla Quilts for Grace, sorry.
Yeah.
And go follow her and get some sneak peeks for it. And then you can also follow me. I'm Stitch Therapy with Mads. I'll be posting a few fun things too.
yeah, so join us. We've got lots of fun things coming up. We've got a little Easter basket take on strip quilting, so join us for that as well. So I will see you next week, and I hope you have a nice, restful, and fun quilting week ahead. So we'll see you next time. I'm Karla Jerome.
I'm Madison.
We'll see ya.